Deus Ex Machina, and I'm here with
Dave Townsend.
Dave Townsend from Cool Geek. What is the group's name, by the way?
Cool Geeks Board Game Group PG Edition.
Yeah, why not just like PG Board Gamers or something?
You know what? I only co-lead the group. It was actually started by another guy, so I just haven't changed the name.
And who was that, by the way?
Robert Dome.
Is he still around?
Yes.
I never heard of him before.
He is...
Have you killed him?
No. He just ended up getting quite busy because he works for CBC now, so...
Oh, ooh, CBC. That's the Canadian Broadcast Company for you people in Australia. Okay, so we are here to talk about the top 5 filler games.
Yes.
We'll go with the filler games.
Yeah.
So just to define, I got the definition of this as games that you play in between other games.
Correct.
So there has to be a game that has to be like 20 minutes or less, half an hour tops.
Yes.
But it's one where everyone can learn very quickly.
Yep.
Most people won't know the rules of it anyway. And it's something you burn through because you've played a big game and you want to play one more game before everyone goes home.
Yep.
Or you play a light game waiting for someone else to show up.
Exactly.
Okay. So we'll do the top 5. I'll start first for the 5 and 4, and then you'll do 3 and 2, and then we'll rock paper scissors for the last one.
Sounds good.
So for night number 5, I picked a game that is vilified in a lot of circles, and I don't care. It's roll for it, cooperative style. It's not roll for it. It's a cooperative version of roll for it. It's a game which the theme is paper thin. The production value is admittedly
thinner.
Awful. And you can buy the game for like $32 brand new. It is so simple. Thank you. And that is Star Trek 5-Year Mission.
Oh, okay.
It is a very simple game.
I love that game.
I love that game too. It's very easy to find homebrew tweaks to play with the system.
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone was talking about how awesome Elder Sign is, and I dislike Elder Sign with a passion. Because Elder Sign, the game difficulty is entirely based on random chance of your rolls. There's very little you can do. There's very little interaction. Where a Star Trek 5-Year Mission, your dice are persistent, so you can talk to each other and plan out your strategy and figure out your dice. It helps that I have never... I've lost that game once.
Yeah, I think I've got 1 or 2 losses,
But for me, we don't play... Go, okay, we'll get to commander difficulty. I will set the commander difficulty. If we get that, we win. No. We play until we burn out every time.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have gotten like to 26 cards.
Nice.
We've gotten to the fact that we've had all the yellow cards are gone. All the blue cards are gone. We just have a handful of red and we just can't burn through the reds fast enough, and we kill it. We have strategies, we have strategies in certain... I mean, the weakest we've gone, we managed to get commander difficulty, and then we just died right there.
Yeah.
But very often we'll go right to the end.
Yeah.
And the only downside, there is an alpha gamer issue with it.
Yeah, there really is.
A lot of people will tell you like where to put your dice. And I've had people who are like, am I playing the game? But it is very fast. It is a great game for 2 people, especially even though the game specifically is not designed for 2 people. Yeah. But it's really easy for playing 2 people. For like I play Captain Kirk and Scotty. You'll play as Spock and Uhura and what have you. I like the fact that I don't know why, but the Star Trek, the original series, is somehow easier. I don't know if it really is, but the only time we've ever lost or came close to losing has been playing as a TNG group. I don't know why. We never seem to have a problem winning with the original cast.
It's actually interesting that you mentioned that. I've actually... Usually I only play with the TNG. I've never really found that many people that want to play Kirk and them. There's
something nostalgically classic and beautiful using that one. Have you ever seen the promotional card?
No.
I was touring, doing a book tour with Ultramodern in Vancouver. I went to this one place and we talked about it. He's like, hey, do you want the promotional card? I have one spare. I'm like, what do you mean promotional card? And it's an 8th playable character, right? Uh-huh. It is Yeoman Rand on one side.
Nice. And
Wesley Crusher on the other. But the best part of, how everyone has a special ability? And some of them are broken. I mean, like Deanna Troy's is broken. Her ability doesn't work very well. Compared to Kirk and Picard was like, well, that's useful. But Wesley Crusher's ability is really powerful with a caveat. In order for it to work, everyone has to scream, shut up, Wesley. Like on his turn, he does his action, and everyone says, "Shut up, Wesley."
Awesome.
Yeoman Rand's ability is incredibly broken because it's not worded very well, so I know why it was removed, because I'm like, wow, that breaks the game. Because her ability is way too powerful. But if you want to play 2 people, have 4 characters on each side, you can play with that additional expansion. But the only downside, of course, is that the game does not give you enough dice.
Yes.
Like, if you actually play with 5 people against 6 people, there's points where you actually may run out of dice.
Mm-hmm.
And when you add the 7th player, there's no extra dice. So you really have to be careful mitigating your dice allocation, because you may end up being in a situation where you run out of dice.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
So that's my top 5 filler game, Star Trek 5 Year Mission.
All right, so my top filler game is Star Realms, Cthulhu Realms, or Hero Realms. Because they're all pretty much the same game, just a different wrapper on them.
Yeah.
Really. And it's funny.
Why would you not? So, yeah, go ahead.
Cthulhu Realms is not made by the same company who makes Star Realms or Hero Realms.
Really?
Really.
It looks the same game.
And it looks the exact...
It's going to have the same mechanic, obviously.
Yeah, exactly the same mechanic, but it's made by Tasty Minstrel as opposed to White Wizard, I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, exact same name. And I'm just like, that's kind of interesting.
Is it the same guy, though?
I don't know.
Because, like I said, like people like Bruno Cataldi and Rosenberg, they bounce between multiple companies. They're like a freelance. They're like the Neil Gaiman.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it could be, yeah. It definitely could be. But it was interesting because, I love Cthulhu. And so that one for me holds a special place in my heart. But it doesn't have anywhere near the expansions that Hero Realms and Star Realms do.
Hero Realms, I've heard, has a few additional features that Star Realms lacks.
Yeah.
And I heard that Hero Realms has a better cooperative variant.
Yes, it is.
Because Star Realms' cooperative variant is ass.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no other word for it.
And the thing, no, we're doing cooperative. We're doing. It's all about commander decks. Okay, so you want to be Magic more. Yeah, because I'm going to sit you guys one day and explain to you how no matter how hard you try, Star Realms will not be Magic.
Yeah.
It never will be.
You cannot have a $2,000 Lotus card somewhere. Exactly.
And even if you try to make rarity, there's a simplistic beauty in how despite the chase and all the negativity I have for Magic the Gathering, there's a strategy you can perform. Going into a game blind, there's too many random elements. I'm never going to believe for 1 second that there's an all-star player of Star Realm that will win every year. Horse shit.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. Yeah, it's coming because you're not building your decks prior to, and you're counting on that river to give you something good, and not have someone else screw it up.
And statistically, you know which are better cards.
Oh no, that was just it. That's my number 5. It's Star Realms,
Hero Realms,
and Cthulhu Realms, because that one you can usually bang out pretty quick.
Okay, so my number 4 is going back. We've talked about this one in the personal gateway list. Filler games is Century Spice Road. Going back to what I was saying before, Century Spice Road is, once again, you can teach it in 30 seconds to somebody who doesn't know how to play it.
Yep.
And you can set the goal line really quick. And if it's 2 people, you can burn through that game in like 15 minutes. 6-player game, it takes a bit longer. But it's still, in the realm of 6-player games, it's a fast one. But in 2 or 3-player games, it is an incredible good filler.
Yeah.
Most of my filler games are going to be low player count. There are some games where there are some games where there are 2 players, it's like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
3rd player, it's an hour. 4th player, it's
2 hours.
It's 2 hours or more. I always love the fact that those games are just like 30 minutes per player. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, and when
like
realistically it's 45.
Yeah, Caverna, 30 minutes per player, and you're like, oh jeez.
Yeah.
Because you realize you play with 6 people, and it is like a 7 or 8 hour game.
Yep.
So that for Century Spice Road, because the turns are so quick.
Yeah.
2 people can burn through a game in 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my number 4 pick, Century Spice Road.
Yeah. So my number 4 pick for filler game is Dragon Farkle.
Wow. Did you watch Tabletop's episode on that one?
Yes.
Did it appear to you that Will Wheaton did not want to play that game?
Yeah.
I had the impression this is was it a season 4 episode? I think that was the beginning of the end. Because I think honestly that he did not want to play that game, and they were forcing that game upon him. And I think it was like he wants to play his games. And somebody told me that, like, why the heck are we playing Dragon Farkle? Of all games. I don't mind like a bunch of small games here and there, but why the F are we playing Dragon Farkle? It's got one thing. When do I say no?
Yep.
It is saying no. It's
a push your luck.
It's a push your luck. It is date rape the board game. That was so inappropriate. I'm so sorry. It's when to say no.
Yeah. And you know what? That's it. But the thing with that game is it's easy to teach the rules. It's easy to get people to pick it up. Next thing you know, you're all working together to fight the dragon, but really it's kind of just like, yeah, we're all working together, but I'm going to stab your army in the back.
Yeah, any game that's semi-cooperative is not cooperative. I was going to say, a game is either fully cooperative or it's fully competitive. Oh, it's got a cooperative element. No. It's a competitive game.
Yeah.
Well, you are cooperating, but I would never call it a cooperative game.
Well, but isn't that just like, you'll need to edit this one most likely, but isn't that kind of like being semi-allies with the States? Because, they didn't really like us. But they do.
I'm keeping that in. No, I mean...
We're semi-cooperative with them.
Well, which is the reason why we're not, right? Well, it also depends on the time we're like... 2 years ago, for about 8 years, we were cooperative.
That's true.
And we are not cooperating. Oh, it's semi-cooperative. No. We are not cooperative now. We are competitive, to say the least. And in a couple months, we may be cooperative again. But until then...
I think it's more of a take that mechanic right now between us and the States.
Oh, yes. Our mechanics... We should do that, a podcast. We talk about political stories, entirely game mechanics. Like, we had a bit of a die placement today.
Followed up with some take that.
Exactly. Yes. In the news today, Saudi Arabia had some worker placement issues.
Yeah, and their deck building did not turn out well.
Exactly. And everyone's like, what are they talking about? And someone's like, man, you had no idea. It's what is that? It's like Darmok, that episode of Star Trek Next Generation. Everyone's talking in metaphor.
Yeah. Exactly.
And somehow they're communicating is like Jahad and Talad at Tanagra. And everyone's like, wow, you communicated so much with that. We had a deck building incident in Hong Kong today, and I was like, oh man, somebody didn't manage their flop very well.
No.
And it was like, oh my god, sell IBM. Why IBM had an atrocious resource management issue today. You ran out of cubes. Okay, where the hell were we? What were you doing here?
That was Dragon Farkle, so now we're back to you for number... I guess it is.
Now it's going back to you. We're up to number...
3.
3. And for... Yeah.
Joking Hazard. I know. That's why I knew I put that one in. It's a good filler game for time. Because everybody's just kind of like... It's like, this is like building a comic strip, and you're going to play your cards, and then someone's going to choose... If it's good, and as you're explaining, someone's like, "Oh, so it's like Cards Against Humanity." Yes, like Cards Against Humanity. Can we go? All right.
Yeah, exactly. It's Cards Against Humanity with one issue. Nobody can see the comic except for you. We've used daisy wheels to spin it around, but there's always some issue with the fact that there are two people that are going to laugh at it, and everyone else is going, "What is he saying?" And they're always tilting their head to look at the comic and go, "I assume that's funny to somebody."
Yeah. Funny story about Joking Hazard.
Yeah.
That game is a board game, and if you post pictures on certain groups with that game you can get banned from them in a board game group.
What?
I know.
This happened to you, didn't it?
It did.
You posted a Joking Hazard,
a comic strip, and I got banned from a group. Yeah.
I didn't share this one, but there was a. We'll often play with phantom players, even if there's plenty of us, just to see what the random pull creates.
Yes.
We were playing Cards Against Humanity, and what was like, and the actual question was, what does Hillary Clinton hate? And there were 4 of us, and all the 5 were incredibly disturbing and punctual. They were so correct. Everyone had a perfect answer. So we were really concerned because all of them were so good.
Yeah.
There was a random pull that was perfect. And the random pull was she is forced to deal with a complete and utter moron. And I'm like, ooh.
You're talking about the current president or one of the
No,
formers?
this was 6 months ago. This was like during the campaign. This was like 6 months. This was about a year ago during the campaign. But it was just like playing it. I took a photo of all of the options. It's like one of those is random, and I'm not lying. Everyone had a perfect pull for it. It wasn't like someone was making up something. Everyone was perfectly politically viable, including the random one. Okay, so anyway, so Number three. For me, this is something that we brought up already on another list. Filler game is going to be Roll For It.
Yep.
Very simple. Roll For It. Very simple rules. Get through, in and out. Once again, you learn the game in 2 seconds. I like the fact that I'm an annoying person to play with because you always know that somebody is going to end up fighting for 15 rounds against the 25-pointer.
Hey, how do I win? We're getting no. I don't care. I want to know, how do I win? Chris, I want to know how I win. Fine. This is how you win. Okay, that's all I need to know.
You're always going to have that one person. You always have 2 people. Like this is the number of times we play with 2 people. It's happened with 1 person. If there's 3 people, 2 people get involved in this, where everyone's rolling continuously for 16 rounds for that 125-pointer.
Yep.
And the odds are so much against them. But there's never been a time where someone just magically rolls all the dice they need.
Yeah.
Or they do it in 3 turns. It takes like 14 or 15 rolls. But because it does, I never go for them. I go for the 5 and 10 pointers. So as like one person's just banging their head and they're refusing to give up because they have 4 of the dice already.
Yeah.
And they're rolling those 2 dice over and over trying to get 6s. And they can't do it. And I'm just like, oh, I have this 10-pointer. Oh, I have this 5-pointer. While you guys are screwing around, I won the game. Because I never, ever let myself get suckered into the 6-pointers. Yeah. I'll get 4. There have been times where I've gotten like 4 6s. And there was a 6-pointer. I'm like, I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to put these 2 6s on this 10-pointer. And I'm going to grab those other 4 dice. And maybe I'll roll double 2s next turn. Statistics are on my side. I took statistics at Mofo. I know that is a trap waiting to happen.
Yes.
But Roll For It, it's a beautiful game. If you get the one version you should never buy, which is like the one that's got all these chrome cards and the crystal dice you see in Sagrada with the leather pouch and all that. It's like, how do you make the simplest game in the world $45?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have a metal die version of it. Or one's made out of bone.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna make $100 roll for it.
Yeah.
No, someone has. But anyway, that's my list. Number 3, Roll For It.
All right. Number 2 for me.
Yep.
Zombie dice.
Talking about dice. It's another one that's very strangely for me to admit that I've not played it, because it's one of those games where it's once again you like these. Why didn't you just include that into the Dragonfarkle listing? It's basically, isn't it a similar game?
It kind of is, except for it's more it's faster, because I mean you can fit zombie dice in tiny little package like this, and it's just roll brains. You know, the only game I have that's faster than that one is Cthulhu
I have this horrible
dice.
image of some guy smuggling a fleshlight through. Because I know it's not a fleshlight. I keep all my dice for. Someone's like, "You are such a nerd. Here you go." Only a complete nerd would shove all of his dice into a fleshlight container.
Yeah.
It's like it's like I am more embarrassed about being a nerd that I would rather pack what you thought was a fleshlight in my luggage. And it goes, oh, okay. He's worse than that. He's a nerd. Sorry, go on.
No, that's it. So what's your number 2?
Number 2 is one of my favorite games. Me and my girlfriend will play because we want to just play it. That's Odin's Ravens. Odin's Ravens it's a game. I saw it being played on a video, and within 30 seconds they were talking about the game. Oh, you're basically putting down these terrain cards. Oh, there's a flop of terrain cards, and you're basically 2 ravens for Odin's. Spoiler. And you are just drawing cards that are matching the terrain in front of you. If you put that terrain, you move that terrain. If they are 2 terrains matching, you move the 2 spots. Very simple. And you also have Loki cards allow you to flip the terrain, shift locations, add an additional terrain for the other person has to go through.
Yeah.
There's one little bit of issue with the game that you draw up 2 cards in each turn, and you can put down as many as you want. So if you blow through all your hand, you got to sit there waiting for your hand to build up. I can't find any rules about a maximum hand size. So it makes sense, and this has happened, where you sit there and you load up a really big hand and then burn through like a drag strip throughout the whole thing because if because you're modifying the deck best you can.
Yep.
And there have been times where Nicole has gotten halfway through the map and I've started off really low and then I got a great combination and just burned through.
Yeah.
She hates it because she rarely wins. Because I'm very tactical. I look at the whole range of it. She's getting a lot better, but it's a very beautiful game. It's about this big. It's like $20 for a filler game for 2 people. It is so simple.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my number 2, Odin's Ravens.
All right. For number 1.
What was your 2?
Number 2 was Zombie Days.
Okay, so number 1. Okay.
All right.
Oh, so rock beats scissors. I know this one this time.
All right.
Okay, so
Number 1.
Number 1.
For me, it'll be short though. Roll for it. Seeing as we've already talked about it.
Oh, so literally we had them both on our list. So there we go. So you like this game a lot.
I do.
Right. If they come out with a metal dice version that's $50, would you pay for it?
I'd buy it for the wife and claim it was her Christmas present or something.
There you go. Roll for it. It'd be interesting, like I said, that's why I like Star Trek 5 Zero Mission, because it's basically roll for it cooperative.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what kind of other wrappers you could slap on that mechanic of cooperative roll for it.
Well, I said in my review for Star Trek 5 Mission, available online, that it is a very good mechanic. It's a better mechanic than Elder Sign, and I wish that they had done more with it. Because the company who made it is out of business.
Ugh.
I think the IP is basically gone. I think the mechanic has some weight. I think it's a very cool idea that you could make it more complicated. And some people have. There are games that are very similar to it.
Yeah.
But it's a very basic game. And I felt that Elder Sign would be a better game if it borrowed some mechanics from Star Trek 5 Year Mission.
Yes.
It would be easier, but then you can find other ways to make it more difficult.
Yeah, but they already
I know
did
exactly
that.
why they did it too. Because they didn't want to make 35 custom dice.
Yeah,
That's why Elder Sign is the way it is.
pretty much. And I mean, but they already made Elder Sign harder because I mean, there's actually one which is called I think it's called Unspeakable Horrors. It makes the game harder. And I think like I own it, but it's never been unwrapped because I'm like, why would I want to make Elder Sign harder?
Yeah.
Because it's already hard enough.
Yeah. If you make the dice persistent in Elder Sign, you give it so much more dimension. You can find it to be difficult in other ways. But the game has to be $30.
Yeah.
And the custom dice aren't cheap. So
No. Exactly.
So roll for it. Okay. So my number 1 is a game I've played 10,000 times. With me and my girlfriend, we played a lot. It's a game that we used to friggin' hate until I did math. And the game is called Onirim.
Okay. I only say because I've seen that one, but isn't it more of a solo player?
It has a solitaire variant, and there's
Okay.
also a 2-player variant. Now, it should be noted that the solitaire, the basic Onirim game is what's the word? So it's like 14 syllables, like 85 words. It's bad. It's a bad game.
Yeah.
It deals with purely statistics. You have a deck of 60 cards. You have 10 nightmares in it. Or 60, 70 cards, and you have maybe 80 cards, and you have 10 nightmares. You draw a nightmare, you can either, if you have a key in your hand, you discard the key and the nightmare goes away. You can shred 5 cards from the top of your deck, which you never do. You can discard your entire hand.
Yeah.
Very simple. And you have to put out a combination of 3 cards and 3 colors to bring out these 5 doors. Very simple.
Yeah.
My failure rate at that was about 85 to 90%.
Ouch.
It's a very, very difficult game
Yes.
because of the statistics. Because you can affect the difficulty hugely by the number of those nightmares. You take 2 nightmares out of that deck, the deck becomes way easier. Just by those nightmares determine the entire game. And so the designers arbitrarily said, we want this game to have a 20% win rate. Therefore, there's going to be 10 nightmares in this. But then there are these 8 expansions. Now, in a lot of games, you add in expansions to make the game harder. Onirim is the opposite. As you add in more expansions, the game becomes way easier. So if you add in the extra doors, the extra cards, every one of these, like one of them, if you discard it, you look at the bottom 5 cards. If there's a door there, you put it out. Simple as that. And you get a bunch of neutral colored cards. To do that, of course, they want to make the game more difficult, so they double the number of doors. right? Then they have these dead ends, which just sit in your hand or don't do anything. There's one issue, though. Every one of these adds cards to the deck without adding any more nightmares. So you have 110 cards with 10 nightmares, which means that statistically the chances of you drawing a nightmare greatly decreases. And because you have dead ends and more key cards, it's easier to get them out of your deck. Easier. So when you play with the expansion, the game becomes more detailed, more in-depth, and to make it even better, the win rate flips it. I now have an 85% win rate with an Irem with the expansions. The game is infinitely more entertaining when you play with the expansions. Mm-hmm. If you get it online, you get it online with all the expansions for like $2. It is an incredibly fun game. And I played the online version a lot because we have wrecked our game because of the number of times you shuffle. Luckily, I have no coordination. Nicole, however, is somehow a poker shuffler. She can just shuffle cards really easily because she had an uncle that apparently had a problem.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that is my number one Onirem.
Okay. Cool.
So that and yours was, again, roll for it.
Correct.
So that is it. That is the top 5 filler games for me. Star Trek 5 Your Mission, Century Spice Road. Number 3, Roll for It. Number 2, Odin's Ravens. A lot of 2-player games for me. And number 1, Onirem.
And mine was, number 5 was Star Realms, Cthulhu Realms, Hero Realms. Number 4, Dragon Farkle. Number 3, Joking Hazard. Number 2, Zombie Dice. And number 1, Roll for It.
All right. So that is it. Our top 5 filler games. I'm Chris.
And I'm Dave Townsend.
And I'll... Oh, we should have a slogan. I'm going to say... I almost quoted Healy's. Catch you on the flip side, and then he sues me.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to come up with something. Yeah.
Like and subscribe, and please, I'm so sorry for all of the jokes about abortion.